Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. In this video I'm going to be doing a 4-day camp out with minimal gear, so it should be really good. I hope you enjoyed the video. Right, so I left base camp this morning. I've spent 3 nights there and had a cup of coffee and then just packed the last bits of my gear, obviously like my sleeping bag that I was using last night and a few bits and bobs. Put it in my Bergen and so right now I have chose my location. Took me a little bit of a while to choose where to go. Obviously I want an area that's got firewood, that's quite sheltered from the rain and the wind, because it's forecast to be raining and windy the next few days, and just somewhere that's not got any widow makers, quite level ground and quite hidden. So I finally found somewhere which I'm really happy about. So it took a while to walk and find somewhere, but this is really nice. So the plan is I'm going to show you through all the items I bought. Obviously I've just bought minimal gear, so it's completely polar opposite to what I have been doing at base camp with the bell tent and everything. I'm going to show you through everything that I've bought with me and that I'm going to be using for the next few days, and then I'm going to start setting up my shelter and cracking on. So I've obviously bought a Bergen. It looks like it's got loads of stuff in, but that's mainly because I've got quite a big camera bag with all my camera equipment in there, and my sleeping bag wasn't compressed, so I've got a down bag, so it's like huge in there. But I'm just going to show you briefly through the items that I've got with me. So these are my items that I've brought with me, plus my sleeping bag. So I have bought a 3x3 tarp, which is already out. I've bought cordage, and I've actually just put some of it on this ferro rod, so that's another item. I've got my knife. I've taken out the DC4 sharpening stone and the little ferro rod, the mini one, as they're just extra items. A first aid kit, a shamag, so it's like a cloth which can have a lot of different uses. That's going to be my food. Next I have got a bush pot, so that's my container. I've got a waterproof jacket and a hat, because it's, like I said, it's supposed to be raining the next few days. And then over here I've got a bow saw and a notepad and pencil, just writing down thoughts and just notes and jotting things down, stuff like that. And then obviously my sleeping bag, my Rabascent down sleeping bag. I was toying between bringing a down bag for it or not. Obviously it's down material, so it gets really damp easily, the feathers inside. So I was debating whether to bring one of those, but I haven't. So hopefully that was a good move. If not, I can just chuck my waterproof jacket over the top of it and it should be fine. Plus camera equipment, so tripod and this little bag which has my mic, spare batteries, things like that. And I did bring a waterproof bag solely for my camera stuff. So my shelter is up now, as you can see. Got the tarp set up. I think I'm going to work on it a little bit more because it's not really secure at the minute. But first I'm going to get a drink. So I've set up a system where it's like a water source, and I have to go and collect it, so I have to walk a little way to go and collect my water. So what I've done is left a water butt which has 25 litres in it, and I lugged that in before I came and put it in my burger and brought it to a rough area I was going to go to and left it there. So I've got to work out where it is from here. I'm going to take my container with me to collect some water and then have a drink. That would be ideal. But yeah, the shelter is looking good. I've got my sleeping bag under there now, and I might think about collecting either moss or some spruce boughs to put underneath there for some protection on the floor. So that is definitely a new experience, drinking straight from my bush pot. Obviously I didn't bring a bottle or like a cup or a cooker to take and drink with, so straight from the bush pot. The reason for the water butt is because around this area there is no water sources, so for water that's the best I can do. I've set it up so it is like coming to collect from a river or water source, instead of having the water butt right with me. So but yeah, that is all I can do for having water, is bringing my own in, and that will be 25 litres. So that's all the water that I have got. Hopefully it's enough. I reckon it is. You roughly have about 4 litres a day, and then I'm cooking rice, that adds a little bit more. So it should be good. So as you can see, I've got quite a small round fire pit. I went for that because I'll mainly be using the fire for cooking on, not necessarily keeping warm. It's clearly like summertime now, so it doesn't get too cold, and it hasn't been extremely hot in the days for it to feel cold at night. So tomorrow will be like rain and it will be damp and miserable, so I'm going to see how tonight goes, and if I'm cold tonight then I will adapt it and make a long fire to keep warm, so all of my body staying warm. It's not just a small area near my core, which is probably most important, keeping your core warm. But I'm going to see how it goes tonight, and it's just going to be mainly for cooking my rice and keeping warm in the evenings. I'm still fairly close to the pit, so it should radiate some heat. Obviously the stones will help with that as well, radiating heat. And I could always put a few rocks in the cloth to keep warm and act as like a heater in my sleeping bag. I have no idea what the time is. I didn't bring a watch or a phone, so I'm not too sure what the time is at the minute. I'm guessing it's roughly about 3 o'clock, roughly. I am going to start thinking about getting some firewood, getting some birch bark, because that's how I'm going to go about lighting my fire, and then cook the rice a little bit later and organise everything out a little bit more. Obviously I don't have a lot of gear to organise, but I'm going to sort my shelter out a bit. Because I don't have a hatchet, it was quite difficult getting the pegs into the ground, as you usually use the back of your hatchet as like a hammer. I haven't eaten all day, so I thought I would be more hungry than I am, but I'm not feeling it yet. I say yet. I reckon a bit later or tomorrow it will start kicking in. But like I said, I've had coffee this morning and that was it. I've now cut loads of birch logs, so that should do me for tonight and this tomorrow morning hopefully, and then I'll cut what I need tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm trying to make a little utensil for eating my rice tonight, so I think I'm just going to make sort of spatula sort of thing just for scooping it up, and then work on something more elaborate tomorrow or the next day for eating it. I'm going to think about lighting my fire and starting to cook my rice. dinner is served. Nice bit of rice on my makeshift spoon. Yeah, so got a little bit of rice for tonight, just plain rice, but it tastes really good. So I went to fill my bush pot back up, or halfway, just for tonight, for a drink and tomorrow morning. Saves me having to walk over there first thing tomorrow morning. But as you can see, it is slowly getting dark. I don't know what the time is. Roughly gauging from where the sun is in the sky, I reckon it's around 6:30, 7. The day went surprisingly quick. I'm quite shocked that I'm not too hungry considering how much I've eaten. You guys have seen that it was just that little bit of rice. Yeah, but I'll see how that will affect me tomorrow. It's probably a knock-on effect sort of thing. So I have got some birch bark and some kindling and logs for tomorrow in case it is raining when I wake up, and I've just got that stuff just as a starter. So I'll put that all under my tarp at the bottom at the end tonight. I just went for a drink out my bush pot, as you do, and there was a tick just swimming around, floating on the top, which isn't always a nice sight. So there is possibly a chance of me getting ticks while being here, because I am sleeping on the floor. I've collected moss and bracken, so I'm laying on that, and I'm sitting on the floor a lot, so there is a possible chance of getting ticks, and I guess I'll just have to get them out. I think you can contract Lyme's after 48 hours or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not too definitely sure on that. So I'm now in my sleeping bag. It's not too bad. It's fairly warm tonight, but clearly it's still light, so it might drop a little bit. Not too sure. Fingers crossed it stays fairly warm. But yeah, it has been a while since I've camped out like this, because we've had the bell tent, so it's obviously really different, having no roll mat and sleeping under a tarp like this on the floor and doing a solo. I haven't been on my own for quite a while now, so it does take a lot of getting used to and adjustments. It's really different, but I think it's nice having the change and mixing it up, and I like doing both, camping with people and doing solos. They both have their pros and cons. So, night guys. Morning guys, it is day 2. As you can see, it did rain this morning. There was a little bit of a shower, so everything is pretty damp, including my sleeping bag. So I did mention, as it is down material, it does just get damp. I think I'll just air it out today, maybe dry it on the fire, something like that. I woke up at about 4 I reckon it was, because it was just getting light, and it was like the dawn chorus. It was really nice. All the birds were singing. It was really peaceful. So the plan now is to go collect some nettles and do some nettle tea, because I haven't had that in a while. So I thought that would be nice to start the day, have breakfast like that. So I'm just collecting my nettles, making sure I only pick the top piece so that doesn't sting. So it is now raining, so I'm going to sit under here for a little bit, stay dry. Got the fire on, and I've just wrapped one of the rocks I collected in that cloth that you've seen, and yeah, so that's really warm. I'm just holding that at the minute to get some heat off it. The green tea was really nice though. I mean nettle tea, that was really nice. And I did start eating some of the nettles because they are similar to spinach. They've got the same sort of texture and taste. So if I don't eat them all, then I'll probably save them to add with my rice later tonight. So I've just cut some firewood. Got some nice birch logs like yesterday, as they're pretty good for burning. They're quite a dense wood, birches, so I preferred that over pine. I've also revamped my bed. I've got a little bit more moss and things to put under there